All right, so we're going to go a little bit more demo on some things regarding SharePoint. So first off, I'm making a lot of assumptions. So if you guys do not know what modern communication sites are, you're living in a cave or you haven't met with me recently. So if that is the case, certainly reach out and I'll give you all the information that you need. Can you give me sharing again? And let's talk about communication sites specifically. 1 second. So first off, modern communication sites, they are superior to the standard classic. One of the updates from Microsoft is finally we can run PowerShell scripts and change the root site to SharePoint to be a communication site. There is now a Microsoft supported way of doing this. Some of our clients know that we've created our own way. So Microsoft has joined us on the wagon of converting root sites to communication sites, and that is now available. What's also available in the modern administrative area is we can now associate sites as hub sites through the UI, and I can or create a hub site through the UI and associate other site collections to that hub site through the administrative panel. We used to have to use PowerShell for this. We can now do it from within the administrative space. Now, as a quick plug, I want to make sure that you guys are all thinking of hub sites as not just for an intranet for collaboration and global navigation across an intranet, but also think of it as global navigation around collaboration sites, around projects, around workspaces and communities. There's a lot of usage for hub sites far and beyond just the concept around intranets. Other updates that have been made available to us is the change the look update. So this is really fun stuff. So you'll notice here if I go to the gear and I click on change the look with this latest update from Microsoft, I can adjust my theme from this panel. I can change the header to be a compact version, or which just really kind of shortens everything, or a standard version. And then I can apply a unique background to the header area based upon the theme that has been applied. I can then go to the navigation and I can use a standard cascading nav that will actually go 3 levels deep, or implement a mega menu navigation as well. So as you can see, as I mouse over Employee Central, we see the mega menu functionality that's now available through the UI. And then the last setting within here is the footer, which we can make visible, modify the color, have some text, have text or an image that is placed within the footer as well, and have footer links associated within the footer. So that's the update on the change the look. Another change is page templates. So from this home page, if I click on new and I click on page, you'll see that now I can select page templates as part of the page creation process. There's actually only 3 currently, but I'm assuming this is just kind of coming down the pipe where we'll eventually have even more templates that will be available to us. Another thing that's available to us is authoritative news. I'm not going to be able to demo that, but imagine that you have multiple sites that have news that rolls up to a given hub site. I can make one of those sites be authoritative in its news source. And so that news always takes precedence over other news within the group of hub sites. So pretty slick stuff. Another item is news order. So if you'll notice here, I have the news web part on the home page. If I edit the page and go into the web part properties for the news, you'll see here that I now have this little organized panel on the right-hand side. So imagine that some news articles, even though maybe my test news is the latest, maybe it's still not more important than a previous news article. So I can grab a previous news article, drag it over to the right, and put it to the very top. And what that does is, regardless of new news coming into the site, that news article will remain at the very top at all times. This allows us to control kind of what users are seeing on a more regular basis. If I click away here, if you'll see in the background there, you'll see now that that news article that I dragged to the very top will remain at the top until I decide otherwise. Okay? And then a few updates on lists. So first off, if you haven't played with conditional column formatting, it is a little bit scripty. Maybe a power user, not your standard end user, will have the ability to do this. But you'll see here that I've added conditional formatting to the choice column, where the shade of that background of that column changes based upon the values within there. So imagine a list that's tracking a rating of a project retrospective or employee ratings, and you want to create a quasi-graphical interface with conditional color formatting. And then within the list as well, we now have dragging of columns. So I can change the location of a column by simply clicking and dragging it and adjusting the format of how my list displays.